Hello, everybody. This is Cable Provider here, doing Art Block once again, and I have my guest, Jesse.
Hello.
Jesse, want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you? Well, I'm sure people would know you if they see what it is I do, because we talk about TFS a lot.
Sure, yeah. My name is Jesse. I go by Nowacking online. I'm an actor, writer, video editor type person. I'm a member of Team 4-Star, and we do dumb...
Nah, no doubt. I ended up watching Team 4-Star back in high school, and it's actually why I started dabbling into, different things involving voice acting. It's where I've gotten flexibility with D&D helped with that.
Oh, cool.
What got you your start in even dabbling into these types of creative things? What made you want to do voice acting?
Well, I started acting when I was 6 years old. I was a very theatrical kid. I very much had a passion for acting right away, and my mom fucking rules. So she saw that in me and wanted to foster that. So she got me into acting, singing, dancing lessons when I was 6, and I took those consistently for basically my whole life. I did the math is insane when I think that I've been acting basically my whole life. There were only 6 years of my life where I have not been doing this, and I'm incredibly blessed every time I think about that. So I started acting at 6, and that was more theater, live action stuff. And when I was a freshman in high school, I discovered what voice acting was, because I was into anime and just getting into the convention scene and stuff like that, and was oh cool, this is maybe a thing that I would like to try, because it's a lot more accessible, anyone could just buy a microphone and get access to doing voiceover, and rather than live action stuff where it might be more difficult to meet people and find groups where people are doing productions. And voice acting, you can just sit in your basement and do it, and no one can stop you. So I realized that I didn't have anything to voice act. I did not have a production or a script or anything. And I had also had an interest in writing for a long time. And so I started writing my own stuff, and I realized, what should I write? And then I discovered a bridge series, and those are, also anyone can just pick up a free editing program, and I guess at the time, 2008, little stand microphones that were fucking $40 or $50. If you could get one of those and a free program, you could make it a bridge series. So I started writing my own stuff to act, to practice voice acting, and I love writing and I love acting, and I was able to foster both of those talents of mine and make them into a career. So it's funny whenever someone asks what do you do for fun, I don't know how to answer, because my hobby became my career. So I am just constantly acting and writing, and video editing, but it's fun stuff. I haven't burnt out. I'm able to separate what's for work and what isn't for work. So, but yeah, that's where I got my start and what I'm doing today.
Nice. And it's pretty cool too, because you managed to bridge that divide between this is work and this is for fun, and it's if you love what you're doing, then you really don't have to worry about burning out on it, in that sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's difficult sometimes, just with the culture of YouTube is hustle and got to get that shit out there. But luckily, I kind of shut that off years ago, because my YouTube channel is fully Patreon funded right now. I don't like YouTube, and I don't like the algorithm. I don't want to make videos about minions just because it will do better. I just want to make the videos that I want to. I'm trans, so I've been transitioning, keeping track of that through vlogs and stuff, because I think it can help people, and there's also not a lot of education on the process and all that. So I wanted to provide what my experience is, and I was okay, so I'm gonna make the videos that I want to. I'm turning off YouTube comments. I'm using YouTube as a vehicle to get more access so everyone has access to my videos, but I do not like YouTube. They can suck my dick. I would not use them if I had the choice. So I'm not giving you comments. I'm not giving you clicks. I'm not giving you like what you want. I just want to put my videos on your platform so people have access to them all around the world. But if people want to support me on Patreon, they can. And they did, and that's really cool because I'm able to, you know, I'm fully Patreon Pun-ded. I'm fully Patreon funded, so I'm able to just make the things that I want to. Certain tiers get them a week early, and then I just put them on YouTube for everyone to watch. So I'm fortunate that my income does not rely on YouTube. I'm, you know, obviously I'm paid by Team 4-Star to like be talent and a video editor, and so the algorithm over there matters, and so I will make videos that appeal to that for that purpose. But for my personal projects, I'm able to just fucking chill and not worry about it, and I'm able to separate work from play just solely based on that.
Nice, congratulations, dude, on that.
Thank you.
It takes a lot to get fully punded, and I'm happy you're where you are.
It's very important to get punded.
Get punded. I might call this episode "Get Punded."
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes video, like a video title, just happens like that. You're not thinking about what it's going to be named. You're like, it'll come later, and then there you go.
You just gotta wait. The stars will align.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask you this. This is something involved with like voice acting from that aspect of it, because typically I hear the questions going around of like, oh, how, like, you know, how'd you get your start voice acting, or how do you do this? I'm actually very curious to ask this. What roles do you like auditioning for? Like, what's a character type you really like to, if you get the chance to really flex your acting muscles in?
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good question. I really get excited for projects and roles where my personality gets to come out. One of my strengths, according to directors, is that I have, you know, improv ability, and I'm a charming person. So if they can give me, it's one of those things where like I can't say I'm a charming person, but people have said that I can when I audition and stuff. That's the roles that people like to put me in. Where my improv skills and like just me being Jesse and injecting myself into the character and kind of making a fusion is good. So like comic relief characters, and if it's like a main character that is also funny, that's usually where I shine. Like I audition for everything, but those are the roles where I usually get callbacks or get or book it, you know. So those make me feel good because they're fun. I love working on stuff with friends, you know, because they will cast me in things because they know what my range is and what my personality is, and they like working with me. So, you know, there's been some live action stuff that we've been doing lately that's been super fun and goofy. I don't know if you've been watching Hiffle, but the Raycon commercials at the end,
Oh my
those have
god,
been
the
super
Raycon
fun to do.
commercials. I think
Yeah.
I think maybe like once every like couple days or something, I'll just randomly be cleaning around my house and I'll scream, Raycon earbuds make me come out of my ears. Or something along the, I forget the exact line you said.
I think it's Raycons make me come from my ears, but I forget at this point.
No, that had me dying when I
it.
first heard it, and I loved it.
Yeah, those commercials have been great because it's getting me back to my roots, right? Like I started in live action acting. And so that first one that we did with me, Nick, and Stefan was directing it, we kind of just had a loose idea for what we wanted to do. We know we wanted to do something fun and different, so we wanted to do a combat scenario for that first commercial, and we didn't really script it. There are talking points that Raycon wants us to hit, so we just had to make sure we hit those. But other than that, we could just do what we wanted, and as long as they approved it, it would make it into the cut. And that was a line where I had said it as a joke, as we were just kind of walking around, and Stefan was like, yes, say that. And I was like, what? I don't think we can say that. And but he was like, okay, no, just do it. It'll be good. And if they want us to cut it, we'll just cut it. But I'll edit it. And I was like, okay. So we did it, and it's great thinking about it because I'm remembering we had to do so many takes of it. Because just from different angles, and from Stefan wanted to like walk in with the camera to do kind of like a zoom in It's great just yelling that line over and over. I don't think I had a voice by the end of it, but yeah, thinking about where the Raycon commercials started and where they're ending, and not necessarily like ending. I can't speak to if we'll do more. I have no idea. Who knows? NDAs. I don't know. We haven't signed things, but if we were to do more, that'd be great. But where they end, what our last one, which hasn't come out yet, it's been interesting seeing all the Raycon commercials, and it's just about having fun, you know, because like this is also where Stefan is able to flex his muscles, because he's so good at what he does, and we haven't gotten to do a lot of live action stuff with Team 4-Star as much as we would like to. We're hoping we've been dipping our toes in, and we're hoping to do more in the future. So the Raycon commercials have been a fun experiment to just try different styles of making people laugh. You know, we have different genres. We had a fucking Halloween one where we had one where I played a secret agent. We had one like the combat one, the first one, and it's just about like having fun, and it's apparently become a staple because people who watch the Hiffle commercial, the Hiffle episode, they expect a commercial at the end, and that's great because, you know, like as long as you're entertaining people, you can advertise to them if they're having fun. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you hear my cats? My fucking cats, they be fighting.
Aw.
I don't know if you heard that bap bap bap. I got a 6-year-old kitty and I got a 6-month-old kitty.
Aww.
And boy, do they love the little kitten. Just loves slapping her sister. It's not good, but she's having a good time doing it. And I thought it would be the bigger cat bullying the little one, but it's the opposite.
Aw, it's a good one when you have two cats, especially when there's like a bit of an age difference, because you can always see the older one just not wanting to do anything, just lazing around. Then the little, like my aunt has 2 cats, and the older one just will not go near the younger one because it's like, will you leave me alone, please? Because it's always like, I want to play, I want to do it. It's like, no, go over there. But
yeah, Khaleesi, the 6-year-old, she just, even as a kitten, she didn't super like playing. Like when she hit 2 years old, she was like, I'm old now, I'm done playing. So it's nice having a little kitten who is full of energy, but Khaleesi sometimes does not want to put up with Pumpkin's bullshit.
Hey, you know what? You got a couch cat and a play cat.
Yeah.
No, but like what you were saying, like about really just having the fun with it, like that's what I've always felt like with a lot of the stuff that I do with like just like trying to be a content creator in any aspect form, no matter if you're doing music, art, live action, however you do it. Like you really can't lose that bit of fun that's involved with it, because that's really where I think people will gravitate towards.
Yeah, exactly.
I know there will always be situations where it's a little hard to keep that energy up. Do you have any tactics like in like live action settings, let's say, like where if it feels like the energy's a bit low, do you have any like methods you would use to get yourself in that headspace of, all right, it's time to scream Raycons make me come from my ears, or how to get yourself in that mindset?
Yeah, usually it's really useful if we're all showing up to film something to have a little repertoire, a little talking time before that. So, you know, we'll show up beforehand and just like do a little talking, and it warms everyone up like before a D&D session.
Yeah, this is to get that, like, you just can't have all that, like, all right, I'm just gonna hop in. No, you need to get a little bit of that stuff worked out, because I find the first 3 things out of my mouth when I'm first getting started with something are usually stupid and not in the fun way. So it's best to get that out.
Yeah, like luckily with the D&D sessions and stuff like that, it takes time to set up the sound equipment and make sure everyone sounds the best and all that. So if we're doing a D&D session, we'll all show up, and then Stefan and or Tyler will be fixing cameras and testing audio and all that, and that gives us time to, you know, have a coffee and like talk to each other and say, how was your day? Well, it's cool, you know, and just catch up a little bit and talk about what dumb video game thing is happening, and did you see the thing on Twitter, and you know, like that kind of thing in it. And excuse me, I almost burped. I had a croissant. Croissants are great. Do you like croissants?
I love croissants so much.
Croissants are dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of croissants, sometimes we'll just like, you know, bring a coffee and a croissant and just like talk, hang out, and sometimes you just can't get the ball rolling until it's rolling, like, and you'll just be a little clunky. Especially, I found it's really prevalent at the beginning of a fresh D&D session where, you know, no one knows what the other person's character is like, and the DM is fully carrying it, you know, like for the first 20 minutes of a D&D session that we record, the DM fully has to be trying to get everyone into it and like almost convince us to play, you know, in a way. Like we want to play, but the DM has to coax it out of us and be like, so this is the setting, like, you know, and Jesse, you're here. What's your character gonna say? And it's always, I've never just jumped into a D&D session and had it go well immediately. There really has to be the 20-minute warm up before things really start clicking. And that can be scary and frustrating if you're an actor or you're trying to improv and stuff, because it's really just you explaining where your character is and what they're doing, that first interaction that the DM gives you. But after that, it can be magic, like especially with the guys that I work with. It's super fun once you're finally feeling it and everyone's warmed up.
Yeah, it's like, especially when you like you said, when you've got that good synergy with the people you're with too, and it's like if like on this channel where Art Block's going to be going up, we're no strangers to how many different D&D games we've run on this place, and the amount of different like first sessions where it's like everybody's quiet, nobody knows what to say just yet, but then the second something stupid happens, or the second something like, just put a small obstacle there, and then just we'll figure out a way. And as long as you give me the option to do that, we'll roll a rug up and set it on fire and use it as a lance. Or I'll ask for a receipt in a potion shop because I want my money back if I don't die.
Yeah, that's important. Always get a receipt.
Yeah, always get a receipt. I've been told nobody else does that, and it's made me feel very cheap in D&D, just as a side tangent.
I mean, like in real life, sometimes I feel awkward asking for especially I feel awkward if they don't offer it to me, because then I feel like, oh no, am I making this employee do something that maybe they don't know how to do? Like, did it just not come out, and then I'm gonna be a bother? So if they don't offer me it, I'm like, thank you, and I leave. I don't.
I think the worst feeling for me is like when, like, if you do ask for it, and then like the printer paper jams, and then it's like, oh well, I gotta go get new print. It's like, now I made you have to go and leave what you were doing to get paper because I need to remember I bought a croissant. That's a callback.
Yeah.
But
in writing, that's what we call a callback.
Hey, and this is a scene transition. It really isn't, because I'm terrible at interviewing for the most part.
It's a transition.
The whole purpose of Art Block was I knew a lot of different people like in different mediums for art, and it's like so many people have different tips and skills, and like they've been doing this like at such different levels. It's like I want to make something where, kind of like how you're doing for your YouTube channel, I want to make something where if an artist is stuck someday, or they don't know what to do, or you're hitting a wall with a project, it's like they're on an art block. Listen to what some other people are talking about. Maybe it'll help you through it. So it's
for sure. It's really useful, especially with like just making you feel like you're not alone. I know it can be like frustrating if you're working on a creative thing and then hit an art block where nothing is happening, and you're just like, fuck, am I bad at this actually? Because I don't know what to do next. Is this ever going to be a thing? But hearing other people dealing with the same things that I am, it really helps to be like, oh no, everyone, you're good. Everyone is dealing with this.
Yeah, and it's like it does mean a lot when I can, like, I appreciate every guest I've had on here so far, and it's like it's very nice to get to speak with other people who both know how to get through these problems and as well as experience it the same too, because like, you know, like you said, it makes you not feel alone. It's like, you know, camaraderie among artists and all that.
For sure, yeah. I think if you don't hit art blocks, that might be a bad thing. Like if you're just writing and then something comes out and you're not double checking anything or overthinking it or double thinking on yourself and going backwards, maybe you need to do more work on the thing. Like
as you bring up writing, so aside from voice acting, like when it comes to actually writing out your own stuff and like getting those things set, like do you typically have what is your like preferred approach to getting started with your writing?
Oh, like how I get started?
Blank
guess
page right there.
yeah, I have to go back to my roots. I know it sucks, but the things that I learned when I was in college really do help. It sucks to go back and be like, well, yeah, the 3-act, 4-act structure does work. You need to like outline the thing, even though I just want to like hit the pavement running and just have the thing done. It is very useful to make a show Bible of some kind, an outline of some kind. Usually I'll do the Bible first, where you know, names the characters, some backstory, some prime locations, and then hit the main beats of the story, and then outline if it's a screenplay for a movie, what acts, you know, separate out the acts, what happens in what, or if it's a show, outline, you know, how many episodes do we want this to be, what are we thinking about. Well, I'm usually not thinking about runtime at that moment, unless it's something special where it has to be a certain runtime. But with my original show that I've been working on since the pandemic started, I've kind of just allowed myself the freedom to write what I want to write, and whatever length it is. And now we've hit the point where I'm able to share it with other people that are working on it. I've kept it very close to the chest, and you know, barely anyone knows anything about it because I just haven't been sharing with anyone. But now it's at the point where we can shoot the pilot. So, you know, the pilot will help us get funding for the rest of the show. And, you know, Stefan is directing it. So now I'm getting his insights, and it's terrifying, but also like very exciting to finally get someone else in there. And he's the perfect partner for collaborating on this, because he's, you know, very respectful of the fact that it's my baby. And, you know, every time he suggests a thing, he's like, is this cool? Do you want notes on this? I'm like, yeah, dude. Because I understand it can be overwhelming, especially when it's a show that's like, that has a trans main character, you know, like some cis white dude doesn't want to just like step all over my shit and be like, what if we changed everything? So he's been very respectful throughout the entire process, which is why I picked him. You know, like it's a project that is very trans and queer based, and so if I'm having a cis male director, it has to be someone who I trust, you know, and I will vouch for him. Sometimes Stefan knows more about trans stuff than I do, which is wild. But yeah, the process of that, like just getting started, is going back to like the original thing that you asked before I got on this tangent. Yeah, a show Bible is usually where I'll go to, because it will help me organize my thoughts. Because sometimes if I have an idea for a scene or something, and that's what's inspired me to write, I can do that in a separate document. I use a program called Writer Duet, which has been really useful, especially with collaborating people, because, you know, if you have multiple Writer Duet accounts, you know, Stefan can pop in on a script while I'm working on it, and sometimes we'll do that. Even though he's my neighbor, I can literally just walk over to him. Sometimes it's easier to just be on the computer and jump on Discord and be working in the same script. So we've collaborated on multiple scripts that way. It's just it's easier to just have it in front of you, and getting started. If I have an idea for a scene or something, I can just pop in there and like blurt it out and not have to, because sometimes it can be overwhelming. At least for me, I'll get overstimulated if I have so many ideas and I just want to work on a scene because I have a piece of dialogue in my brain. So that's useful. Just make a bunch of documents, make a bunch of files. The world is your oyster. No one can stop you from just making a shit ton of Google documents or whatever you need to do, and just figure out your shit individually. If you have ideas for characters, put it in this one. If you have ideas for scenes, put it in this one. Because that can be frustrating. If I have an idea for a scene that is in episode 5 of a show I haven't even written down, you could just do it. You could just, and sometimes that's where ideas develop and flow the best, is if you are just writing a scene that is disjointed. It's completely separate from anything else you want to work on, because then it might change into a different idea. You know, by the time you write down something and have interactions between some characters, you might realize, oh, I actually want this character to be a woman, or maybe I want this character to be male, actually, because that works better with this. And you never really know until the characters start talking.
Yeah, it's like D&D. You never really know how things are going to click until everybody's like getting in the mood for it. And it's like,
exactly.
You can write something for episode 5, and through episodes 1 and 4, it might be like, oh, that scene still works, but we should put like so and so here, change this to that, and you might even be able to take something you thought was disjointed and turn it into like, oh shit, it works now.
Yeah.
Like, that's a very like I actually never heard of writer duet. I'm gonna look into that after this. That sounds like
I hope
helpful.
Yeah, it's super helpful. I just sometimes it glitches, and I hope they fix their shit. But at the moment, it seems like the best program especially if you want to collaborate. I don't know why I said it like that. Collaborate with other humans.
Oh my god, it's the Jesse bot.
Beep beep boop.
Beeps and boops aside.
I'm gonna AI generate a fucking script.
Well,
we don't need people anymore.
Just don't involve hands with it. They're gonna come out all fucked up, and it's not gonna work. God, I hate AI art hands. They're so terrifying.
I hate AI. Oh my god. Oh, side note. This is like, I don't know how to. Is this okay? Are you into Star Wars?
Very, very much.
Have you seen where is it? I guess it's at this is spoilers for Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian season 2. If anyone is still watching those, maybe skip ahead a few minutes. I finished and is it okay if I talk to you about this?
Oh, go ahead. I've seen Mando season 2. I haven't seen Book of Boba yet, but I'm fine with spoilers.
Okay, well, it's a character, the Luke, smooth boy AI generated voice man. He appears at the end of Mandalorian season 2, and he has a scene or two in Boba Fett. And I am late on this boat because I just caught up with all the shows. I basically, Stefan and I spent the last couple days just binging all of it. He had already seen it, but we wanted to get me caught up. And I'm just, as a voice actor, it seems basic knowledge to me, but I am so shocked that they thought the AI voice for Luke was acceptable. I just don't understand. It is so bad that it made me jump and screech from my seats at times. It's just basic knowledge. Just get a voice match. What are you doing? I understand, the people, visually, at the end of The Mandalorian season 2, where Luke first appears, I was fine looking at Luke. It was a little eerie, but the actor's alive and they got his permission, so I was like, okay, I'm okay with this, I guess, if Mark Hamill's okay. But then the last shot you see him in, I looked in his eyes and I felt fear. I felt chilled to my core because there's no life behind this boy's eyes. There's nothing there. Okay to look at, but then once you look in the eyes, you're like, oh fuck, are you gonna murder me? In Boba Fett, I'll hand it to them. He looks great. He looks great in Boba Fett. They stepped it up. Whatever the fuck they did, he looks better. But the voice is still terrible. I'm just stunned because there were some deliveries where Stefan and I are actors and we're watching this, and some deliveries are so wooden and lifeless that I'm like, this is not acceptable. I don't how many hands did this have to pass through where everyone was like, this is fine. This delivery is acceptable for a Star Wars product. It's insane. It's not, I don't want to sit here and just dunk on a thing, but I'm so stunned. I cannot believe that the final project sounds like that.
You'd imagine they'd put a bit more. It's it's Luke. It's not like it's friggin', I don't know. You can make up a Star Wars name with anything that you've got, Gravy Mastar, because I got a brush on my desk from Gravy Master. It's
yeah.
Why do I have this? I'm not dealing with that now. It's not like it's just some innocuous background. It's the Luke. He's the boy.
And Mark Hamill is alive. So like they fed through the old lines, that he had delivered when he was that age. But we were thinking of all the possibilities, like just get Mark Hamill to do the performance as older Luke and then have a voice match guy look at his performance. And you can also get visuals from Mark Hamill's face as he's delivering these lines to kind of help the boy look less dead. Like he just looks like a corpse that they're animating and then feeding the AI. Because, like how they make an AI, they probably just had him like reading a book or of some kind. And it sounds so bad. And as an actor, it's making me miserable and sad. Like there are just... Okay, that's the thing they need to do. They need to have Mark Hamill do the lines. They need to have a voice match dude. They need to analyze the facial stuff. AI, there's so many things wrong with it, and I didn't understand. Like my artist friends, they will post about why the AI is bad, and I've been like, cool, I understand that, but I didn't really understand it until me as a voice actor was sitting here having to be subjected to a zombie Luke with dead eyes, with the worst voice acting deliveries I've ever heard, just being there, just fucking, it's insane. It's insane, and AI is bad, and I understand why now. Like, it can be used for good, but not like this. Not like this. What?
Listen, they're just getting the kinks out of it. They're gonna keep the still, deadpan Luke. We're gonna do Weekend at Boba's. It's gonna be fucking amazing. They're gonna put some sunglasses.
Put some sunglasses. Put some sunglasses on the boy. He needs the... I don't want to look at him.
Oh, poor AI Luke. He didn't ask for this, but it's,
Yeah.
It's the price we pay for
I was sitting
AI.
there. I was sitting there and I was literally like, I would rather go on YouTube and search for the worst Luke Skywalker impression ever. I would rather have him read. I've never tried to look up Luke impersonators, but I would rather him try his best to deliver the lines of this rather than the AI, because it was uncanny and weird, and the delivery for sure wasn't good. So there's no emotion, there's no feeling behind any of the lines. Like, I would rather a guy who's trying his best and is human fucking do it.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch that.
I honestly don't believe the AI voices and stuff will ever catch on to the point where it's like you might be able to recreate a face, but you're never gonna really be able to take what really goes into voice acting, like the whole kit and caboodle of it, because it's not just talking into a mic. It's not just talking into a mic. It's like you got to get your whole body involved. You got to make sure you're in it. Like the feeling behind it needs to be present, so that way it can be conveyed through the voice, and that doesn't work with a soulless, lifeless machine that needs Weekend at Bernie glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're feeding in information, and that's great. But what if Luke has to yell? You don't have that, what if he has to do something emotional and you don't have the files for it? Like, if you don't have the data, he's not going to be capable of it. And that's very clear in because in Boba Fett, he's, hanging out with Grogu, and he looks and sounds like he doesn't like Grogu, and that's not on purpose. He seems like he's just really pissed off at Grogu at everything he does, and even when he's excited that Grogu did a thing, he sounds pissed off, and it makes the scenes really uncomfortable because Grogu is so cute and he's trying his best, and Luke is just there like, no, do it like this, and I'm like, fuck, should we leave? Like,
You need a minute? I'll come back if this is how this is gonna be, Luke.
Yeah, do you need to talk, man? This sucks. The energy in this room is the energy in this room is terrible.
Oh my god, I definitely need to watch Boba now, and I'm gonna look specifically for that.
Yeah, just do it, because I saw on Twitter when the discourse happened when he first appeared, and I was like, people are blowing it out of proportion. And then watching it, I was like, I feel chilled to my core.
Oh my god, I don't even think I have words anymore on that.
Acting is important. All comes back.
Honestly, I think realistically, as far as everything goes with Art Block, I think the last question I just want to ask Jesse, just for everybody out there, when motivation seems gone, when everything feels difficult, you got any parting words for people who might be going through a hard time right now, trying to get their creativeness flowing, or just having a hard time in general with what they do?
Yeah, don't forget how it ends. You know, there's a lot of journey that has to be done before you hit the thing or you finish the thing. And it can be difficult sometimes to like stay motivated. Sometimes when you're like, fuck, there's so much that has to go into this. Like, do I need money to do this? I need a production crew, like, or if it's just me, like, I don't know if I have the bandwidth to work on this, or what if it's not good enough. Personally, I get offended if I don't do something that isn't the best thing I've ever done. I'm very perfectionist about things, and that can be good and that can be bad. But as long as you're putting out the thing and you're finishing a thing, it's experience. You know, everything is experience. So if you make a thing that isn't the best thing you can do, that's great. Good for you, because now you can use that experience. Like, everything is teaching. Everything is a teaching experience for me. I never feel bad once a voice acting performance of mine comes out, because I learned something from it. Even if it's not the best thing I've ever done, it will help and improve me for the future. And then I will be able to create things and do performances in the future that are the best thing I've ever done, because I did the other things. But you can't get there until you make shitty stuff. Make shitty art, you know, just make shitty art, because then you're getting better at it. It's literally impossible to get better at the thing until you're doing the thing. So practice a little every day, make shitty art, and don't forget what you're working towards. You know, I'm jealous of Future Jesse. Future Jesse has everything I could ever want, because he's kicking ass and grinding and doing the work that it takes to get to that point. And right now I'm working to help him. You know, you gotta just not be so hard on yourself. It's really easy to be hard on yourself. Treat yourself with kindness, and future you will thank yourself for it.
Damn, those are good words to end on. Jesse, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Everybody, this has been another episode of Art Block. I'm Cable Provider. You all know I don't know how to end these. Eventually, I'll make some sort of ending for it, but that's not going to be today. Look forward to the next episode we release, and I loved having you here today, Jesse. I will see who my next guest is next time. Take care, everybody.
Oh, yeah. Bye-bye.